Hello and welcome to Barely Contained, the self-made celebrity podcast that is well on its way to 1 billion listens. I'm Chris Beckett, and joining me for a change is one-time Play School presenter Floella Benjamin. Only kidding, it's Matt Withers. Hello there, Matt.
Hello there.
How are you?
I am very well. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. I'm looking forward to getting in amongst these stories.
Yeah, I'd really like to get digging into some classic online celebrity journalism. Just a little bit of housekeeping, just to mention, very little opportunity in the intervening fortnight to say she's the cat's mother.
Yes, well, it's almost as if it's not a very common phrase.
No, it's not. It doesn't come from usage very often. So I believe that you have dug out a story from The Sun online about Chanelle Hayes from the 8th series of the civilian Big Brother.
Oh yes. Foul play. Chanelle Hayes screams in disgust as Lima does a poo on her shoulder during zoo trip with her family. It seems the stripy-tailed primate wasn't a fan of Big Brother 8.
Hey, you say that this podcast isn't educational. I don't think I've heard that word said out loud before. So you say lemur.
I say Lima.
I would have said lemur.
Let's call the whole thing off.
I think I'm thinking about Lamar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lima.
Okay, let's go with that.
This is by The Sun's Jamie Downham. Chanelle Hayes screamed in horror when a lemur did a poo on her shoulder during a family trip to a Doncaster zoo.
So, I don't want to pull this story apart from the off, but it says to Doncaster Zoo.
One of several.
How many zoos has Doncaster got? Has every defunct coal mine been turned into a menagerie?
You know, I wouldn't want to guess, but I would imagine it's probably the only zoo.
I'm going to say that Doncaster is a one zoo town.
Let's see. Clearly, the former Big Brother star is not popular in the animal kingdom because moments earlier another lemur launched a flying attack on her. The 31-year-old was trying to enjoy a family day out with children Blakely, 8, and Frankie, 1, at Yorkshire Wildlife Park when the primates made their feelings towards her very clear. First, one of the stripy-tailed beasts leapt up at her side with both claws, leaving her yelling and clutching her chest with shock.
I mean, that's obviously very sad for Chanelle Hayes, but that is a good, solid second mention for Lima, isn't it? The stripy-tailed
beasts. Then another climbed onto her back before using her left shoulder as a makeshift toilet.
Because ordinary lemurs are very particular about where they perform their ablutions, but when a stripy-tailed beast's got to go...
It's got to be on a Big Brother star. Our pictures show a zookeeper coming to Chanelle's rescue, removing the primate before it can do any more damage to her tracksuit.
It's also worth mentioning, these pictures are pretty professional, aren't they? It's almost as if someone was following the star of the civilian series 8 of Big Brother around.
Are you suggesting someone maybe doped the lemur? Gave them some prunes or...
I think that the lemur had seen the par at the end of the story that said, got a story? Email digishowbiz at the-sun.co.uk.
Used his little ring-tailed stripy paws. Away from the terrifying lemur enclosure, the family also got to see polar bears, Amur tigers and leopards, giraffes. Just ends there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much a what I did on my holiday paragraph, isn't it? Oh, I have to say, I did see terrifying lemur enclosure at the Sheffield Lead Mill in 1999.
They were great. Supported the Wonder Stuff.
Terrible band. Terrible band.
I also think, as journalists, we should mention that legally you shouldn't suggest that being terrifying is typical of lemurs.
No, they are notoriously litigious beasts.
Exactly.
That should be your third mention. Stripy-tailed beasts, notoriously litigious beasts.
They'll see you in court. Chanelle and her family have recently returned from a trip to Spain where they were seen whooshing around on the water slides.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a primary school essay.
Yeah, I think we should probably end it there.
Yeah, let's call this off.
It delves into the darker terrain after that.
Yeah, not to do with lemurs. Now, Matt, moving on from the lemurs, I understand you want to talk to us about the latest in an quite serious ongoing story between James Argent and Gemma Collins.
Yeah, serious face on now. This is a story from the Mirror Online, and it's headlined, James Argent's beloved scooter removed from Gemma Collins' house after breakup. This is by Lucy Needham, who's Mirror Online's senior celebrity reporter. So they're not giving this one to the kids. This isn't for your trainees.
Come on, Lucy. Yeah. We need you on this one.
I can imagine you say, I know it's your day off, Lucy, but we can't trust this in lesser hands. We need you to come in for this one.
This is not a work experience story, Lucy.
Well, she came in, God bless her, and she wrote, James Argent watched in horror after his scooter was removed from the grounds of Gemma Collins' house just hours after their split. The GC appears to have wasted no time in clearing out all traces of her Towie boyfriend, his beloved bike included, and mid-report she's dumped him for posting humiliating snaps of... Sorry, this is very serious. Humiliating snaps of her snoring on Instagram.
All traces of James Argent.
Yeah, every bike.
Every slight trail of gravy.
2 assistants were pictured heaving Arg's duck egg blue scooter. That's very specific, isn't it?
What colour was it? Lucy, get her out there and ask them.
Into a removals van on Monday. Arg, 31, cut a solemn figure as he watched the events unfold, dressed in a black jumper and tracksuit bottoms, with a pair of headphones around his neck. He was also seen clutching his mobile phone and a Gucci wash bag, with a downcast look etched on his face.
He thought they were going to be forever.
There was no sign of his former girlfriend Gemma, who is said to have chucked him out of her home after an epic bust-up. The argument started after Arg decided to share less than flattering pics of his lady love snoring away to Instagram.
What I like is you started off in a sort of Simon Bates voice and you turned into like Michael Burke from 1990s to 999.
This isn't working, is it? I sound like I'm having a breakdown. I'm just going to turn that off now.
It could do that to you.
While the post was deleted just an hour later, the damage was already done for Gemma, who was reportedly humiliated and failing to see the funny side. A source told The Sun, Gemma had to end it because she was so embarrassed by what James had done. It's a source called Gemma, presumably.
Yeah, possibly.
She felt he had humiliated her and there was no choice but to end things.
Well, Matt, I mean, we've had false dawns, but I think it's for good this time.
I think it is.
There's no way back for these two.
There is no. This is the last time we'll ever hear of this couple. Chris, I believe you have a story about wedding day chocolate peddler Anthea Turner.
I want to lighten the mood a bit. Yes, this is from mirror.co.uk. Anthea Turner wears sexy low-cut top as she parties with best pal Lizzie Cundy. Anthea Turner put on a busty display as she headed on a night out with best pal Lizzie Cundy on Tuesday. The TV presenter, 58, looked sensational as she posed for cameras outside London's Wellington Club alongside a host of famous faces.
Yeah, at this point, listener, you know what's coming. It's a list of all those famous faces. Well, it's not, because they leave it there, don't they?
I mean, ... and Lizzie Cundy. Yeah. Anthea opted for a busty black sequin top with a plunging neckline alongside a pair of black leather trousers which emphasised her toned legs. I think it was more the report that emphasised the toned legs than the trousers, but there you go.
Just going through the motions here. Chick, chick, chick.
The popular Blue Peter star made a fashion statement with a pair of tasselled heels and held a simple clutch bag under one arm.
It's worth mentioning here that the byline is just bymirror.co.uk, almost as if somebody doesn't want their name on this absolute abomination.
I think it's equally worth noting that Anthea Turner left Blue Peter 25 years ago.
Was it actually a full quarter of a century?
Yes.
Okay. They could have mentioned, the one-time presenter of the Health Lottery.
Styling her blonde tresses in her trademark sleek straight blow dry, Anthea looked stunning as she went for a natural makeup look with just a hint of bronzer on each cheek and a sexy smoky eye.
Just one sexy smoky eye. The other was left normal, so she was like a semi-Marty Feldman.
That natural smoky eye look. You might have if you were a chimney sweep. Meanwhile, her pal Lizzie made a bold statement in a completely see-through mesh crop top which exposed her nude bra. The TV personality's rock-hard abs were on display as she partied alongside Anthea, sporting a similar pair of leather trousers. Lizzie, who was previously married to footballer Jason Cundy, held a studded clutch bag in her hands and rocked a glowing tan with her brunette tresses styled in bouncy curls. Anthea's outing comes not long after her sister Wendy Turner Webster opened up about their long-standing feud just months ago, revealing they hadn't spoken for 2 years. The pair fell out over money that Wendy is said to have owed the former GMTV star, with the 51-year-old fellow presenter, best known for her role on Channel 4's Pet Rescue, claiming she was profoundly hurt by Anthea. I've had to cut all ties with Anthea, and it gives me no pleasure to have to say that in public, Wendy told Mirror Online.
No pleasure, but probably about 500 quid.
Yeah, maybe just don't say it. It doesn't give you any pleasure.
Well, long-term listeners of Barely Contained will know that music means that it's time for a section of the show we like to call Life of Riley, where we read out some very low-level reporting from websites about the life of Rachel Riley. When we started, the co-presenter of Countdown, now potentially leader of a centrist political party.
Things have changed.
The headline on the Express Online, and this is by Lauren Meachin, is Rachel Riley Twitter. Countdown star addresses being in talks for Man United director job.
Now, Matt, I've taken the liberty of looking through this story, and it's 20 paragraphs, which I would say is roughly 19 paragraphs too long.
Yeah, and I think that's been quite generous. But let's crack on. Rachel Riley, who recently celebrated 10 years on Countdown, addressed rumours she's set to become the new director of football at her beloved team Manchester United on Twitter yesterday.
Bullshit.
Yeah, these rumours which do not exist. Rachel Riley, 33, admitted she couldn't confirm or deny being in talks with the club who are playing Southampton today. The star made the statement, which appeared to be in jest. Really? Do you think it might have been? As she uploaded pictures of betting odds which had put her in the running for the role. Rachel circled the title, Man United, next Man United Director of Football Betting Odds, which came before a photo of her name with her odds set at 226 to 1.
I couldn't even be bothered to copy and paste the name of the bet properly.
She jokingly wrote beside the image, further to rumours I've been interviewing for the @LCFC manager's role, I can neither confirm nor deny being in talks to be the next director of football at Man United and can make no further comment at this stage, alongside a series of laughing emojis.
Appeared to be in jest.
One fan thought hiring Rachel was a great idea, as they commented, trust me, they could do a lot worse than employ the services of the gorgeous and brainy Rachel. Another said, better odds than Usain Bolt. I like it. A third added, you would make a fantastic director of football, Rachel. Certainly get the deals right. You at the game tomorrow.
To be honest, this sort of exchange from Twitter is probably a lot better than Rachel's been receiving of late.
Yeah, I mean, she probably welcomes this because people aren't going, great news about you being in the running for the Manchester United job, you Zionist hag. So yeah, it's probably just a brief respite for her, isn't it?
It's a busman's holiday.
A few days ago, the Countdown favourite revealed she was working with Leicester City and teased a new role. The Manchester United fan, I think we've established that, said, "I just spent the most lovely day with @LCFC. I can't say why just yet, but I can say that I'm in love with the groundskeeper's cockapoo Harley. He's living the dream. Just joyous."
Aww.
Finally, Chris, we had the news earlier about James Argent and Gemma Collins breaking up, and we were saying it's the last that we were going to hear of their relationship. Well, you have a story that brings this up to date.
I have indeed. On again, Gemma Collins kisses James Argent in front of the Eiffel Tower on romantic break after rekindling their love in Paris. This is by Stephanie Sotirio of The Sun. It looks like Gemma and Arg are firmly back on. Gemma Collins and James Argent are officially back on after being pictured sharing a smooch in front of the Eiffel Tower. Arg, 31, whisked his on-off girlfriend to romantic Paris after their split last month, with 38-year-old Gemma being left heartbroken when Arg cruelly fat-shamed her at the time. However, it all appears to be water under the bridge, with the two also being spotted buying souvenirs to remember their getaway, as well as heading off to watch the Moulin Rouge live.
This is heartening news, isn't it? It's a dark world at the moment.
It's just a little shaft of light that we should head towards. Gemma was seen grinning as she clutched onto a single red rose, with the pair also caught looking the picture of love, with their arms wrapped around one another as they strolled through the city. Gemma was dressed to impress in a bright pink top under a fur-trimmed gilet. Not sure who that's trying to impress.
I mean, don't impress me much.
She teamed the look with an on-theme fluffy white beret and matching scarf, as well as black leggings, trainers and a chic green handbag. Arg was dressed casually in a black turtleneck and trousers with a beige overcoat.
I'll make an effort, mate.
It sounds like he's going for the kind of Curiosity Killed the Cat frontman look.
Oh, another reference for the millennials.
He completed his outfit with a gold chain necklace.
From Elizabeth Duke.
Understated. An onlooker previously said of the pair's Paris stint, they were very happy, laughing and being affectionate with each other.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. An onlooker previously said. Also, once again, it just appeared to be a photographer there on hand.
I mean, call me a mad conspiracy theorist, but it seems to be the amount of times that these two have managed to fall out and in and out of love that, I mean, it might be that they're just kind of arranging it to kind of keep themselves in the media.
Stop it!
I mean,
stop it!
I'm just floating it.
Yeah, well, you're just destroying the premise of this podcast, what you're doing. And what I say is...
I take it all back. Their love is for real.
It really is. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, just enjoying this for a few seconds.
Look after yourselves.
Yeah, we're just going to enjoy as much of this as we're legally entitled to, I think.
Wrap your arms around each other.
You're on your own.
Look the picture of love.
Sing it to the bar staff. But Chris, I think that's as much as that song by Peaches and Herb that we're legally entitled to play on the podcast. So
thanks, P&H.
I think it's time to say goodbye to the listeners.
Yes, goodbye to you, listeners. But don't forget, we don't have to end this here. We can continue the conversation at barely_pod on the Twitter, or on Facebook. You can get in contact by searching Barely Contained, the podcast.
Yep. That's barely maintained by you, that presence, isn't it?
You know, I've been busy. I apologise. It will be, I will keep a much closer eye on things, especially in the wake of the feedback we're almost certainly likely to get from this cracker. Yeah,
well, potentially from the lawyers from Peaches and Herb.
I imagine they're pretty sharp on these sort of things. But yeah, apart from that, I'd just like to say thank you very much, Matt.
It's been a genuine pleasure, Chris.
Yeah, it's been good. But remember, catch us on all the usual places: Spotify, Audio Boom, all those.
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all your usual podcatchers. Hey, time for us to say goodbye, isn't it?
It is. Goodbye.
Goodbye.